The Israelites, freed from slavery in Egypt, stood at the edge of a new land, a land promised to them by God. This land was Canaan, a fertile land flowing with milk and honey. But Canaan was not empty. It was inhabited by strong and powerful kings. Leading the Israelites was Joshua, a strong and courageous leader, chosen by God to succeed Moses. Joshua, having witnessed God's power firsthand, was ready to face the challenges ahead. He knew that God would be with them, just as he had been with Moses. He rallied his people, preparing them for the battles to come. The fate of the Israelites rested on their faith and their obedience to God. The journey had been long and arduous, filled with trials and tribulations. Now, they stood on the precipice of a new era, ready to claim their inheritance and establish their nation in the land promised to their forefathers. The stage was set for one of the most remarkable chapters in human history, the story of Joshua and the conquest of Canaan, a story of faith, courage, and the unwavering power of God. Before crossing the Jordan River, Joshua faced his first challenge. Two powerful kings, Sihon, king of the Amorites, and Og, king of Bashan, stood in their way. The Israelites sent messengers to Sihon, seeking safe passage through his land. But Sihon, filled with fear and mistrust, refused. He gathered his army and prepared for war. Sihon's army was vast and intimidating, but Joshua, empowered by God, remained undeterred. The Israelites, with God on their side, emerged victorious. Sihon's reign was over, his land now belonging to the Israelites. Next came Og, king of Bashan, another formidable adversary. Og, known for his immense size and strength, ruled over a land of fortified cities. He too underestimated the power of the God of Israel. The battle against Og was fierce, but the outcome was never in doubt. God delivered another decisive victory to the Israelites. Og's kingdom fell, and his land was added to the growing territory of the Israelites. These victories east of the Jordan were not just Joshua's victories, they were a continuation of Moses' legacy. It was Moses who had led the Israelites out of Egypt, through the wilderness, and to the edge of the Promised Land. God had promised this land to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and their descendants. Moses, though he did not live to enter the Promised Land himself, played a crucial role in securing the Eastern Territory. His faithfulness, his leadership, and his unwavering obedience to God paved the way for Joshua's conquests. The victories against Sihon and Og were a testament to God's faithfulness to his promises. They were a sign that God was with his people, and that he would continue to fight for them as they moved forward into Canaan. These victories also served a strategic purpose. They secured the eastern flank of the Israelites, preventing any potential attacks from that direction as they prepared to cross the Jordan. With the victories east of the Jordan secured, the time had come for the Israelites to cross the Jordan River. The Jordan River was at flood stage, its waters overflowing its banks. It seemed an impossible obstacle, a barrier too wide and too deep to cross. But God had a plan. He instructed Joshua to have the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant step into the river. As soon as the priests' feet touched the water, the river stopped flowing, creating a dry path for the Israelites to cross. This miraculous event demonstrated God's power and his faithfulness to his promises. The crossing of the Jordan River marked a turning point in the history of the Israelites. Section 5, 31. Kings defeated Joshua's campaign of conquest. With the Jordan River behind them, Joshua and the Israelites entered Canaan, a land of diverse landscapes and fortified cities. Ahead of them lay a formidable challenge, the conquest of Canaan and the subjugation of its many kings. The book of Joshua lists 31 kings defeated by Joshua and the Israelites, each victory a testament to their courage and God's unwavering support. These kings, each ruling over their respective territories, were no match for the combined might of the Israelites and the divine power of their God. From the south to the north, Joshua led his armies to victory, conquering cities like Jericho, Ai, Hazor, and many more. The campaign was not without its challenges and setbacks. The Israelites faced fierce resistance, cunning strategies, and fortified defenses. But through it all, their faith in God remained unshaken. They had witnessed God's power at the Red Sea, in the wilderness, and at the Jordan River. They knew that with God on their side, victory was assured. Section 6. The fall of Jericho, a city brought down by faith. The Israelites encountered Jericho, a heavily fortified city with towering walls. God had an unconventional plan that tested their faith. They marched around the city for 6 days with priests blowing trumpets. On the 7th day, they marched 7 times and shouted. The walls came crashing down. The Israelites claimed their victory. Section 7. The Battle of Ai, a lesson in obedience. Emboldened by their victory at Jericho, the Israelites set their sights on Ai, a seemingly less formidable city. Confident in their strength, they sent a small force to capture Ai, but to their surprise, they were defeated. The defeat at Ai shocked the Israelites. They had witnessed God's power at Jericho, so how could they be defeated by a smaller and weaker enemy? The answer, as Joshua soon discovered, lay in their own camp. One of their own, Achan, had disobeyed God's command and taken plunder from Jericho, a violation of God's explicit instructions. This act of disobedience had consequences, as God's blessing was contingent on their obedience. Achan's sin was exposed, and he and his family were held accountable. Once the sin was dealt with, God's favor returned. Joshua, following God's instructions, devised a new strategy, a cunning plan involving an ambush and a feigned retreat. The Israelites, this time obedient to God's commands, attacked Ai and were victorious, proving that their strength lay not in their own might, but in their obedience to God. Section 8. The Gibeonite Deception, a treaty and its consequences. As the fame of Joshua's victories spread throughout Canaan, fear gripped the hearts of the remaining kings. The Gibeonites, a nearby people fearing for their lives, devised a plan to deceive Joshua and secure a treaty with the Israelites. They approached Joshua disguised as travelers from a distant land, their clothes worn, their food stale, and their wineskins old, claiming to have heard of Joshua's fame and seeking a treaty of peace. Joshua and the leaders of Israel, without consulting God, were deceived by their appearance and made a treaty with the Gibeonites, swearing an oath to spare them. When the deception was revealed, the Israelites, bound by their oath, were obligated to honor their treaty with the Gibeonites. This event served as a reminder that victory depended not only on military prowess, but also on seeking God's guidance in all matters. The Gibeonites, though spared from death, were made servants to the Israelites, a testament to the consequences of deception. Section 9. Dividing the spoils. The Promised Land, distributed. With the major campaigns concluded, the time came to divide the land among the 12 tribes of Israel, a promise made by God to their forefathers. Joshua, under God's direction, oversaw the allotment of the land, ensuring a just and fair distribution according to the size and needs of each tribe. The land, conquered through battles and divine intervention, represented their inheritance, a tangible symbol of God's faithfulness to his promises. Each tribe received its portion, from the fertile plains to the hill country, from the coastal regions to the areas bordering the Jordan River. This division of the land was not just a geographical allocation, it was a symbolic act signifying the establishment of the nation of Israel in the Promised Land. It was a time of rejoicing and thanksgiving, as the Israelites, after years of wandering in the wilderness, finally had a place to call their own. The land served as a reminder of God's faithfulness, their deliverance from slavery, and their covenant relationship with the Almighty. Section 10, a legacy of faith and courage, remembering the conquests. The conquests of Joshua stand as a testament to the power of faith, the importance of obedience, and the unwavering faithfulness of God. Joshua, a worthy successor to Moses, led with courage, wisdom, and unwavering trust in God's promises. The Israelites, through their victories, demonstrated the power of unity, the importance of faith, and the significance of following God's commands. The fall of Jericho, the defeat of Ai, the battle against the 5 kings at Gibeon. These events became legendary, recounted through generations, inspiring faith and instilling courage in the hearts of the Israelites. The story of Joshua's conquests is not just an ancient historical account, it's a timeless narrative that continues to resonate with people of faith today. It reminds us that with God on our side, no obstacle is too great, no enemy too powerful, and no challenge insurmountable. It teaches us that victory comes not through our own strength or wisdom, but through our dependence on God and our obedience to His word. Lessons from Joshua's conquests. Joshua's story teaches us that God is faithful to His promises. His leadership shows the importance of courage, obedience, and faith. It reminds us to trust in God's plan and stand firm in our faith. The division of land underscores unity and cooperation. Together we can achieve great things. With God, all things are possible.